add all better. Okay, let's add a filter. Maybe this is better now. A number of you mentioned on the last video that there was a strong echo, and there probably still is. But of course, I rearranged my room and inserted a wooden floor without thinking about the impact it would have on the room's acoustics. So don't worry, I got a rug, and I now have a textbook on indoor acoustics. So let's see if I can improve it over time. Only the latest thing that my philatelic hobby is teaching me. If anyone ever tells you that philately is a dead-end hobby that will teach you nothing, they are either doing it wrong or they just don't understand the possibilities. What do you think?
I like it. Plastic.
By the way, while I was researching rugs, I came across this website called stamperugs.com. This is not a commercial or anything, just something that I found. And it looks to be mainly Machin's, but really good quality rugs. It's just, I don't know how I feel about walking over the Queen's head, although people have been licking the back of the Queen's head for some time. Anyway, let's do another episode of #Philately. A big thank you everyone for the comments and engagement on the pilot episode. There were plenty of great suggestions, feedback and ideas for where the show could go. So thank you. And if I wasn't able to reply to your comments, I apologize. There were a lot. Since it was mostly positive feedback, here's another episode, and we're going to make a few more. And for those of you who are concerned with missing the old format, I completely get you. I miss it as well. But let's see where the show takes us. To answer the question of how frequently this will be uploaded, it's whenever I can. So make sure to subscribe and hit the little bell icon for notifications when I upload a video. There were some other fun questions that came up that I need to answer, of course. Where did I get the Mr. Zip t-shirt? I got that from the USPS store online, so I'll leave that link in the description, as well as where did I get those canvases with the stamps on them? I got that from a website called Redbubble. That's a pretty fun website, check it out. And there's a lot more other stamp-related material there as well. There were some other questions that came my way about how the old format worked and what the effort was like. For those of you who have not yet seen my stamp chat with the APS, which I did, I think, a couple months ago, check it out. I'll leave that link as well in the description, where I talk about the making and origin of exploring stamps, the effort required, and the fun I've had along the way. The APS has been building up its YouTube channel for several months now since this virus started. So they have a lot of great content that you can spend a good amount of time absorbing and enjoying. Speaking of YouTube channels, I was recently on Conversations with Philatelists. It's a new YouTube channel and podcast that you can listen to. And I had a great time speaking with Charles and Michael, in which I discussed the new format of the show, as well as my thoughts on where this hobby is and where it's going into the future. So check them out, subscribe to their channel, and watch their other videos as well. Now, one topic that comes to mind that I would love to talk about briefly is the COVID-19 stamps. Several countries have issued stamps about COVID-19, and there's a lot of social media content out there where people have posted images of stamps that they've got, or questions or discussions and articles about the postage stamps that are being issued. So let's talk about them, but first I need a cup of coffee. Now, the important question to always ask is why? Why do countries issue a particular postage stamp featuring a topic or subject that gets displayed on the stamp? In this case, why are countries issuing postage stamps about COVID-19 while we're still in this pandemic? Understanding the reasons for it may give us some kind of clue as to what else we can expect from other countries in the future. Key things that come to mind would be obviously showing support for healthcare workers, the heroes that are on the front lines working with those that are sick. Along with that, essential workers, showing support for those that are keeping key systems and services in place that allow the country to keep running. Of course, stamps could also celebrate the unity of people, groups, countries coming together and cooperating at a time such as this to look after each other. What about acknowledging those that have lost their lives? Stamps could mourn those that have passed away due to the virus. Another obvious one would be communicating a message. Stamps have long been a method for communicating with the public. So messages could include washing your hands, reminders to wear a mask, or social distance. It's also just a really weird year. Stamps could be capturing this moment in time as historical documentation. They could also be used to raise funds in the form of a semi-postal. So anything to support the research behind finding a vaccine for COVID-19, supporting those that have been impacted, also the healthcare workers. The other obvious one is to make money off of stamp collectors. What are your thoughts on this mini sheet issued by Sierra Leone in March of 2020? The penny black against COVID-19. 6 stamps, each with Queen Victoria's face, as if it was the penny black, but featuring a different type of mask on each one. It just doesn't make any sense. To me, this is a fine example of philatelic bait, just looking to take money from collectors. Now, you may have a very different opinion from me, and if you do, that's great. Please comment below. But what bothers me about these stamps is that I cannot find any information about where the proceeds from the sale of these stamps go. I don't think they go towards any COVID-related matters. Instead, I think they are profiting from a deadly virus. And it's not entirely Sierra Leone's fault. Sierra Leone contracts a company called Stamperija, that's what I'll use. And they actually contract them to produce all their stamps, giving them creative rights almost to come up with whatever topics or themes they want to. And they're just one of the many clients that Stamperija works with. The company is based in Lithuania, and just checking out their website, you can find a number of similar types of stamps. They seem to have issued the same penny black mini sheet with a variation of different masks for Chad, as well as Central African Republic and Guinea-Bissau. Apparently stamps such as this aren't even sold in the country itself, so you wouldn't be able to find that sheet of penny blacks at a post office in Sierra Leone. But their postal administration authorizes them to be produced and sold to collectors. Makes me wonder, if I went to Sierra Leone and I used that sheet on a letter, would it even be accepted? I've gone way off topic, but Stamperija, and there's another big one out there, IGPC, the Intergovernmental Philatelic Corp, are these agencies that produce questionable stamps for their clients. Great topic that we should cover at some point in the future. But I'm definitely going to stay away from that mini sheet of penny blacks with a mask on it for now. Now, if I recall correctly, China was the first country that was going to issue a postage stamp related to COVID-19. Either they announced it or it leaked out to the public, but it was a seat and pair featuring healthcare workers and other essential workers that are on the front lines. For some reason, they postponed it. They changed that style up a bit, but still a very good looking seat and pair that actually is giving proceeds towards the fight against COVID. Because they postponed it, the first country that actually issued a postage stamp related to COVID-19 was Iran. Again, they featured healthcare workers on the front lines. And then very quickly after that, we saw stamps from Vietnam. Switzerland issued a semi-postal. Indonesia has a set of stamps. They actually have a very cool first aid cover that looks like a medical mask. Check that out. And then Isle of Man has a very lovely set featuring the community coming together, carrying us through this COVID-19 event. Through its Twitter account, the UNPA, or the United Nations Postal Administration, also announced that they were going to issue stamps, and they have now issued stamps related to COVID-19. It's a set of 6 stamps. We are in this together. And they represent 6 key public health messages they want people to read. Personal hygiene, myth busting, physical distance, spread kindness, and know the symptoms and solidarity. There's a surcharge on the stamps that go ahead and support the World Health Organization's efforts. This is a really good blog post. This is from Mark. He's got a couple of blogs, stamp-related blogs, but this one, philatelicpursuits.com, has pretty much documented the series of events with the release of COVID-19 stamps. Please definitely go visit his blog and his site and check out this article. That again is linked in the description of this video. Another good one to check out is medicalphilately.com. They also have an article related to the release of these COVID-19 stamps.
Don't even think about it.
Now, I don't have any of these postage stamps as of yet, but if your country is issuing them or you happen to have a few spare lying around, please feel free to send me some. I'd love to explore them further and discuss them and start my own COVID-19 collection. Speaking of sending me stuff, let's talk about a few items that people have recently sent me. This first letter is from Montenegro. I received this just a couple of weeks ago, and the stamp certainly caught my attention. One of which is the Ulcin Castle, which is located in the south of Montenegro. It's a letter from Lazar, who writes, "I would really like to thank you for helping me to get into collecting stamps, and because of your YouTube channel, I found out about some stamps I wouldn't have otherwise. I have one question to ask you. In the picture I sent you, there is an Italian stamp, and it is a really small stamp. I would really appreciate if you told me more about these types of stamps and the details on the postmark. Thank you." Well, very cool, Lazar. Nobody's ever sent me a photograph of their stamp album before. And this, as you mentioned already, is a very small Italian stamp. I won't be able to read too much into the postmark on a photograph, but I do have the same type of stamp. These are Italian parcel stamps, stamps that were used on parcels to send them through the mail. I believe these particular parcel post stamps were first issued in 1946 through 1952, and what you're looking at is only one half of the Seaton and Pear. You see, parcel stamps from Italy came as a set of two. The one half read Paci and the other half Postali. Now, I have a non-used full Seaton and Pear where you can see both halves. You see the Paci and then Postali. Now, the left side of the Seaton and Pear, Paci, was what stuck to the parcel. It was applied to the parcel and then postmarked and went on its journey. Whereas the right side was actually stuck to the receipt that was given to the sender. That was also postmarked on the receipt. You'll mostly find the left side of the parcel stamp because that's what people would have collected. They would have soaked it off of the parcel package and placed in their collection. The right side, well, not so much used because that was attached to receipts and collectors weren't necessarily hunting down old receipts to soak off and add to their collection. So it's still a very cool stamp to have, and it is a very small stamp, as you have pointed out. I measured it at about 23 by 15 millimeters. Thank you for the question, and to anybody else out there, do you have this stamp in your collection? Go look for it. All right, look at these. I just got these in the mail yesterday. Thai Stamps Rock, TPS. This is from Chai in Thailand. Enclosed are two caps that I hope you will enjoy. Both are to promote the Thai Philatelic Society. The TPS Exploring Thai Stamps is a custom one for me. Thank you very much, Chai. Also writes that usually the annual meeting of the Thai Philatelic Society is at the Royal Philatelic Society offices in London. However, because of COVID, the decision was made to have the meeting virtually on Zoom. This will allow international members to participate for the first time ever, and I can actually meet my fellow members in the UK and other countries. With a little push from Mother Nature, TPS is beginning a new phase of the philatelic revolution. This is so true. This is happening to a number of stamp societies and stamp clubs having to go online, but being able to then broaden their horizons and meet people from other countries that want to take part in what their society offers. So what I'll do, Chai, thank you for sending me this, is I'll definitely put the link to the Thai Philatelic Society in the description of this video. If anyone is interested in perhaps joining or learning more about Thai stamps, definitely check it out. I know that you'll be giving several of these out to TPS members at the Bangkok auction later this month. I'll also send you some #Philately stickers so that you can hand those out as well. So again, big thanks, Chai. Chai had also sent me this postage stamp a little while back when I had made the video about postmarks and cancels. And this actually is a 1925 airmail stamp from Thailand that has an interesting cancel on it. Apparently, it was popular for postmasters in Thailand to incise a piece of bamboo and use it as a cancel. So I really like this item. Why use cork to cancel your stamps when you can use bamboo? The last thing I'll show today is just a few postcards that were sent my way from very cool places. If you've already seen my episode on Antarctica, you'll know that I received a really cool postcard from Port Lockroy in Antarctica. It's so cool to have a piece of postal stationery sent from the very bottom of the earth. But along with that, I want to show you this one that was sent from Camp Humphreys in South Korea. It's the largest military base outside of the US, which I did not know about. And Eric, who is stationed there, has his stamp collection with him and watches this channel. So thank you very much, Eric. What I really like about this postcard is its simplicity. A typical postcard has a picture side and a writing side. This postcard is just completely blank. On the one side, Eric placed some stamps, some stickers, and my address. And on the other side, he actually used the entirety of the card to write me a message. What's really great about the simplicity of this postcard is that it really amplifies the imagery on the stamps and the stickers that he chose to use. Eric, I've been copying you lately. I got a whole pack of blank postcards as well, and have been using them just as you did to write to friends and families. And the last postcard to show you is from Transylvania. Not Romania, but Louisiana. I had no idea there was a town called Transylvania in Louisiana, but you can see by their postmark that they definitely work with the name's reputation. First class bat mail. You can also see that there's a bat within the cancellation bars. I love pictorial cancellations such as this, and this is really cool. I got to learn about Transylvania, Louisiana. According to Wikipedia, there's under 1,000 people in the town, so it's a very small town, and it's in the northeast corner of the state. The postcard was sent to me from Jacqueline, who was traveling through Transylvania on Friday the 13th, and she is a mail artist. Mail art is a form of artwork where the artist uses whatever materials they'd like, such as crayons, paint, rubber stamps, tape, stickers, or cutouts, and uses the postcard or envelope or whatever postal stationery as the canvas. Now, it's not considered complete until you've dropped it in the mail and allowed for the postmark, cancellation, or any other scars to be picked up on its journey. And then, once the receiver has it in their hands, you've got a completed piece of artwork. I know of a few other mail artists that send me stuff from time to time, so I always look forward to receiving them. If you want to send me a postcard from a really cool, weird, or fascinating place that you either live in or visiting, please do. I'll leave my postal address in the description below, along with a lot of useful links for you to all check out. As always, thanks for watching and happy exploring.